Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. And I'm up here at Port Stephens on this beautiful autumn day. Let me just give you a 360 to show you what's happening around me. I'm just walking along this beach, a beach which was smashed by the storms that we had just recently, and there is timber and debris all over the beach. So let me just change my glasses and I'll put on my sunglasses. Bear with me. So what we're going to do is do a walk and talk and have a chat about a book today. And the book is entitled Own Your Everyday by Jordan Lee Dooley. Own Your Everyday. So what's this book all about? I've done a couple of books about owning the day, and it's quite empowering and quite powerful to take these lessons and to incorporate them in our lives and to remind ourselves, because we need to continually remind ourselves that we are the agents. We are the agents of our lives, the agents of our future, the CEO of everything we do. So everything begins and ends with us, or should at least begin and end with us, because if you leave it to other people, then you do face the challenge of being let down, I guess is the bottom line. So the author kicks off with his first formal point, and that first point is, if you want to finally solve your problems, you need to do a deep dive. You need to do a deep dive on your problems and uncover what the root causes are of those problems. You just can't sweep them under the carpet. You just can't rely on mum and dad or grandpa and grandma or your teachers or your mates to solve your problems, because only you know deep down what is troubling you, and what you need to do is to try and identify what is it about that problem that is troubling you, and to try and sort it out, because we can all figure it out if we focus and we think about things and we map things out. We can all work it out. We can all figure it out. So that's the big lesson. Everything is figure-outable. So the other thing the author talks about is to embrace our flaws, embrace the challenges that we have, because we're not all perfect, and we need to embrace the things that make us different. Because if you try and hide and run away from your challenges and your flaws, then it makes things worse. Because the real me, has weaknesses. And that's okay. It's okay to have weaknesses. It's okay to have challenges, to have flaws. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us different. And we're different not only from each other, but most importantly, we're different for each other. So that's why we need friends, that's why we need family around us to help supplement and complement our weaknesses and strengths, and to complete us and to bring a balance. But we need to first understand what those weaknesses are, what those flaws are. And the author's first call to action is that we need to submit to a 30-day challenge. And that 30-day challenge is basically not to criticize ourselves and to treat ourselves the same way that we would treat a good friend. So think about having a truce with yourself and to treat yourself the way you would treat a good friend. What a powerful What a powerful thought that is. Treat yourself with respect. Treat yourself as you'd treat a good friend that you don't want to lose. And the author then goes on to say that we need to stop comparing ourselves to others, because it's this comparison that causes anxiety, worry and stress. So the minute you decide to take action and to stop comparing yourself to others around us, and just to compare yourself to yourself, is the moment that you relieve yourself from the shackles of anxiety and the shackles of disappointment and the shackles of isolation, the prison that you've created in yourself. Don't bloody worry about what other people do, because everybody lives their lives, and the people that you admire today may possibly be the people that you feel sorry for tomorrow. So don't waste your time comparing yourself to other people. Just focus on your own life, comparing yourself to yourself, your today's self to your previous self, and just try and make small improvements and try and identify the things that are causing you stress and worry, and deal with those things, and have your own goals, your own dreams that you work together with your other self to try and complete and to achieve. So the author here says, once again, don't be a victim of comparison-induced pressure. So there's a scientific name to all this thing. It's called comparison-induced pressure that we cause ourselves. So don't be victim to it. Don't get too caught up in Facebook and Instagram, because we all make our lives a lot more glamorous, a lot more interesting than what they really are. So the reality is, don't think that the photos and the posts you see on Facebook and social media are the true reflection of how a person lives their lives. It's the creative self that puts those posts up, and it's probably an ideal rather than an actual, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we need to focus ourselves on our joyful thoughts each time you're tempted to be jealous, because we are all jealous. Jealousy is a common thread that all humans have. So the author here says that when you're tempted to be jealous, just flip it on its head and just have some joyous thoughts, rather than being stuck in that rut of jealousy, because it won't bring any joy to you if you're just worrying and comparing and being envious of other people. Celebrate it. Tell them, you're someone else. You're great, beautiful, I love it. And just try and live your own life, but help other people celebrate their lives as well, without getting jealous about it, I guess is the point, the important point. You can be happy for other people without saying, shit, I'm not getting that, so why should they be getting it? Enjoy it. Enjoy other people's happiness, other people's success. It's fun, because it distracts you and it gets you focused, potentially, on achieving your own goals and motivated to do your own things. So the author then introduces us to a 10-10-10 principle, or a rule. And what the author says is that every decision you make, every feeling you feel, will have consequences in your life. And there are hidden consequences. There are first, second, and third level consequences with each action and each decision that you make in your life. So to be conscious of those consequences of what's happening in your life. and to know that all the distractions that you have around you will impact you in some way. So to try and be conscious about what's going on. So the author then asks us to list all the things that most often distract you in your day, in your work, in your life. What are the 10 things, or what are the most things that most often distract you, take away your attention from what you're doing? And to write them down. And to also ask yourself, what do you have a hard time saying no to after a long day? So it's all about self-knowledge, self-wisdom, just learning a little bit more about what makes you tick, and to write it down. You know, what distracts me? You know, I'm doing something, I'm enjoying it, and all of a sudden something will pop up, something will happen, and my mind will flow and just go away from what I'm doing and get caught up in this other thing that has crossed my mind. So let's capture and document the things that distract us most. And the most important lesson from this author, from this book, is the following. So listen up. That the more distracted you are in your life, you are going to get less meaning in your life. Because if you're being distracted by other things, other people, then you're not spending time living your life. That's a powerful and profound statement. So the goal is to try and lose those distractions, to minimize, to eliminate those distractions, to put a circuit breaker on them and enable you to live your life the way you want to live your life. And you know, what are you going to do? What is your go-to time wasters? And when you find out what your go-to time wasters are, and you can learn to work with them and to deal with them and to minimize them, then you're going to live your life to its fullest, as opposed to being distracted. And now time wasters are cigarettes, time wasters are Facebook, time wasters are I guess binge eating or binge drinking, because not only do you waste time doing it, but the next day is a write-off as well. There are a lot of people who regret the next day for over drinking, overindulging, because not only did they waste the day before, and they don't remember what happened the day before, but they've also wasted the day that follows. So in order to prioritize and think of all the consequences that we have in all the things we do, we need to incorporate the 10-10-10 rule. And that 10-10-10 rule basically asks us to try and identify, for every decision we make, for everything we're distracted with, what are the consequences of that choice in 10 minutes time, 10 weeks time, and 10 years time. And what this will do, what this technique will do, is it will teach us and it will allow us to make better choices, because you know that each choice that you make, each decision that you make, will have a consequence that will span 10 minutes, 10 weeks, 10 years potentially. You know, the things that you eat, the things that you think about, the people you hang out with are going to have big consequences. Not only the consequences in 10 minutes, but the more you do it, the more they compound. And the more they compound, the greatest impact they will have on your tomorrows. Not only for you, but also for your family. So it's all about making better choices. And the way we make better choices is that we make better, we think better about doing what we do, and we look into the future to try and identify what consequences may come from those decisions that we make. So I guess that leaves it there for now. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's a beautiful, beautiful autumn morning, and I'm here at Fingal Bay. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and let's make the most of this day, because this day will never ever come back. And to know that the decisions we make have consequences, and it's important to try and be able to understand each and every consequence, be it first, second or third level, so that we make the best possible decisions and get through the day trying to achieve the best possible outcomes. Anyway, let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and let's be the wind beneath our wings to help us grow and develop, to be supportive, to nurture each other, so that we can get through the morning, get through the day, get through our lives, and accumulate a number of lessons and enable us to be better tomorrow than what we are today. Wow, I've just come to the spit here, and I'm absolutely amazed. I've never ever seen the spit here at Fingal Bay so deep and so expansive. Check it out there, that water. You just can't walk across it, you can't get across it. And the storms that we've had, not only last year, but the storms that we had this year, the rains, have washed a significant amount of sand away from this sandbar. And you just can't get across there. There were years before that I'd come here and I'd be able to walk across at high tide. Whereas now it's low tide, and it is impossible to get across. That's at least, I reckon, 400 metres. The distance from here to that little island there is about 400 metres. So it'll be years, I think, that it will take for us to be able to cross that spit and go across to the island, where there's a lighthouse and a lighthouse quarters that incidentally got burnt down. But it's always great to get over there, because you can see the whales breaching during winter, and it's an awesome time of year. Anyway, take care everybody. Wish you all the best. I'll look forward to coming to you again a little later on with another 5am Club. But thank you for joining me on this special edition up here at Nelson Bay, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the day. Yasas, Ilaka from Jim's 5am Club. Bye.